The time has come. The overall channel number, this is the biggest thing that I look at is
a big reason why I love hiring independent contractors versus employees that most people don't think about.
I've got black on one side and white on the other side. It has been a really fun week. I'm just putting the finishing touches on the episode now. We did a lot in the studio house, and I'm even going to demonstrate how to make a V-flat. I made 6 more of them. And then I take you with me on an adventure. I went up to Silver Lake with the paddleboard on my back. That was totally fun. And I share how I've hired amazing independent contractors over the years and why I choose that instead of hiring employees. About 5 or 6 weeks ago, I first did this hike to Silver Lake. And on the way down, I saw people with paddleboards on their back. And I thought, I want to do that, but didn't know if I could. So I've done practice hikes and I've worked my way up to this point. And now I'm gonna do it.
A big reason why I love hiring independent contractors versus employees that most people don't think about is that you can hire people and give them a trial assignment. I mean, I do this all the time. When I hire somebody in the Philippines, I hire them for a trial task. If they do that task well, I hire them for a trial week. And if everything goes well that week, then I hire them full-time permanently. Yet they're still independent contractors, they're not USA residents. I also do that here in the USA. My videographers are independent contractors. I hire them for a day. And of course I pay them for that day, regardless of whether they're a fit long-term or not. But I can gauge how they work. I can see how they work with my clients, how they work with my team, the report that my team gives back to me, and I can then choose if I want to have them come back on another day, or if they're better at working with some clients than other clients. So I love working with independent contractors because I get to test them out. It's so smart. Okay, I love V-flats, and my team and I use V-flats all the time. Now we've got these aperture lights. They're amazing lights, but we don't ever shine them directly on our subject. We reflect them off of V-flats. We use so many of them and we have to cart them up and down the stairs that we're gonna make a whole bunch more, and I'm gonna show you as I make one. So I'll just grab 2 pieces of this foam core. I've got black on one side and white on the other side. Okay, so you have to turn one of them around so they face opposite directions. And these are quite big. We're talking 4 feet by 8 feet. But if you get them lined up, and if you've got white on the outsides, then we have to start with the white gaffer tape. I'm going to start with a few pieces just to hold it in place, but I'm eventually going to tape the whole thing. Okay, now that I've got a full hinge on one side, I can stand it up and open it up, but turn it inside out. And fold it back on itself. Okay, now I need the black gaffer tape. So you'll notice that when you fold it over, it kind of beads over. And when I first started making these, I would worry about it. Now I don't. It sorts itself out. You can just kind of put it in the middle, and as you fold these things back and forth, it figures it out. Okay, so now we actually have a functional V-flat, but because we move these things around all the time, all the edges I like to cover with gaff tape. I just use white on the inside in the middle seam, but the rest of the time I use black. So I'll just flip it over here, but do one edge at a time. So I'll do black that folds across here and black that folds down those sides. So that's how you make a V-flat. I've obviously got more work to do on this one. I'm going to be making 6 today. Okay, so I have a big team. In the Philippines, I've got 23 people. I've got 8 people in Utah. You know, I've got some all-stars on my team, but I didn't hire all-stars. I hired people to fill a position, right? I hired contractors to do a job, to do a role, but over time, all-stars have risen up, right? They're the people that are the most loyal and dedicated to the company, those that have really helped me accomplish my goals or helped me expand my vision. They've really risen to the top, and I've been able to promote them and empower them. And I just love that. I mean, I've got a couple all-stars on my team that have been with me about 8 years, and I didn't know that they were all-stars in the beginning. I hired them for a position, and they did good at that position. They contributed over time. I tested them with more and more things, and we really just learned and experienced, like, what's the best fit for you? What's the best role in the company where you're gonna be the happiest long-term, you're gonna be fulfilled, you're gonna provide the most value for the company. And man, I feel so blessed to be where I am right now. Now, I would love to have more all-stars like that on my team, but I just know it takes time. I'm just gonna hire lots of people, put them into roles, create the systems, and hire them to run that system, but all-stars rise up. In fact, I've got a lot of team leads on my editing team that have just risen up as more responsible, people that really contribute, people that go the extra mile with their editing work. Now they're team leads. All right, I'm taking my second rest. I'm almost there. I'm doing great, but yeah, that pack is heavy. I'm guessing with the paddleboard and all the gear, water, about 50 pounds that I'm carrying. So just right above that ridgeline where my finger is, that is where Silver Lake is. Going back 15 or so years ago is when I first read the book, The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. He talked about outsourcing, but that was a foreign concept to me then. I thought, wow, that would be cool to hire people overseas. But the thought of hiring an employee was just beyond me. But go back 11 and a half years ago, it was December of 2009, I learned how easy it was to hire people in the Philippines. I used the website virtualassistanttool.com. But I didn't know much about that website. I've been using it for 11 years now. But I listened to an audio that taught me that you can hire somebody in the Philippines for $450 per month, and how easy it was. You don't have to go through any agency. You just contact people directly. There's this database of resumes. You can find people. And I thought, this is amazing. And the first person that I hired was an article writer, because I was an article writer at the time. I was getting paid $10 or $12 per article, depending on the length. They would give me a title, they'd have me write the article, and I'd submit it to them, and they'd pay me 10 or 12 bucks. Well, I found an article writer in the Philippines, so I'd get the title, assign it to her, she'd write it, I would then review it and send it into my company, and I'd pay her $2 or $3. This was amazing. That was the first taste I had of hiring somebody overseas, and I caught the bug. I caught the bug of what was possible with leverage and hiring the amazing people in the Philippines.
Number one question I've been asking Marley, how long will this take?
Yeah, well, the reality is this isn't a quick fix. This isn't a fast approach, so it does take time. You also mentioned in your question high ticket sales. And the reality is a lot of people that find you through YouTube, they are looking for more of a course type approach. And I see that you've got a lot of expertise with courses. That's an amazing thing that you'll be able to start selling right away.
Because it takes time to build up. Like, how do we know it's working? Like, what are the metrics that or like the benchmarks that we're looking at?
One of the great advantages of YouTube is the analytics. So you can go in and deep a little bit into your analytics to see, well, you know how many views there are, but you can see where are they coming from, what's the source of traffic. And one thing that we look at is search. So in month 1, you're going to be looking at your numbers, and you'll probably have, suggested and browse as your top 2, maybe browse first and then external and search somewhere lower down. Well, as it again into month 2 and month 3, you'll start to see search kind of rising its way up, and that's kind of a key indicator that we look for, that okay, we are laying that foundation of search. When we get into month 5 and month 6 and month 7, we'll actually start to see that transition. It's not that search volume goes down, but you'll start to get more and more suggested traffic as YouTube is more and more familiar with your audience, and they'll promote you to more audiences. All right, I made it. That stretch was exhausting, but I got everything up here, and check this out.
over the years, my vision and kind of plan for hiring people in the Philippines and what I do there has kind of evolved and changed. In the beginning, I did want to hire a good amount of people, but I only wanted to hire a certain amount that I can kind of keep track of, that I can know personally and have relationships with. And I still want that, that's still important to me, but I really want to help more people. I've seen the work that I do in hiring people in the Philippines as more a version of philanthropy, because there are people in need all around the world, and I can just donate. I can donate funds to them, and I do that to a degree, especially through my church. But what I love is that I get to empower people through employing them, right? I provide their livelihood. I provide them money, yes, in exchange for the value that they give me. So I'm creating a lot of value. I'm receiving a lot of value and benefit to myself and my company. It allows me to grow and create, but I really provide livelihoods right now for 23 people in the Philippines. So my goal over the next 2 or 3 years is to increase that to 100. I want to employ 100 people and provide livelihoods for 100 different households in the Philippines.
Okay, I'm getting close to my car. Maybe 10 more minutes, but that was fun. I would say that was totally worth it. I am tired. My shoulder's sore for some reason. My legs are a little bit sore. I'm excited to get to the car and be able to sit down. But that was totally worth it. I spent about 90 minutes playing around in the water on the paddleboard and swimming. The first time jumping in the water, it was freezing. But then I wanted to jump in the water on camera. And guess what? I jumped in, it's like, oh, it's not cold anymore. So anyway, then I was able to play a lot longer in the water. It was just great and beautiful. Over and out. Now, if you thought this week was awesome, wait till you check out last week. I'll link to it right up there, and then I'll see you next week.